What's good, y'all? It's your host, P.2 Ronin Beatmaker. And if you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And on this episode, we're going to continue to discuss, the Black Knight Satellite, Part 2. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show. The true age of the Black Knight Satellite. Historical records and anecdotal evidence add further layers to the mystery of the Black Knight legend. Although the moon is our only celestial satellite, alien theorists contend that texts from various ancient cultures make references to a dark object also called a dark arc, orbiting the Earth. Babylonian, Egyptian, Greek mythology dwell specifically on the stars of the Bootes constellation. Even Homer mentions Bootes as a celestial reference for navigation in his epic poem Odyssey. Unsurprisingly, the Bootes connection is at the heart of the Black Knight Satellite too. Here we have a map showing the constellations, specifically the Bootes constellation. Bootes. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, but it sounds good. Bootes. Enough fooling around. One of the most shocking aspects of the Black Knight Satellite is the alleged age. According to one theorist, the alien probe has been orbiting Earth for approximately 13,000 years, long before the advent of human civilization. Scottish science fiction author and astronomer Duncan Lunan made this age-related proposal in 1973, Spaceflight magazine article published by the British Interplanetary Society. The vast number of years after analyzing the long-delayed echoes, or LDEs, received by the Norwegian engineer and ham radio operator Jørgen Hals in 1927, quote, "From where this echo comes I cannot say for the present, but I only will herewith confirm that I really heard this echo." Oh, and that's that's exactly similar to what Tesla said when he first heard the signal. So we have a consistency there in terms of the narrative regarding the Black Knight Satellite. Lunan hypothesized that 13,000-year-old object orbiting the moon could have produced those LDEs. To arrive at this conclusion, he connected the satellite with the location of the North Pole star Polaris, and then plotted a vertical axis of the transmitted pulse sequence from a horizontal axis of the echo delay time. In 1998, Luna explained this process, quote, "I tried plotting the delay times against an order in which the echoes were received, and only at the second attempt I found what I looked like a star map." Luna disclosed that the hidden radio message sent by the alien space probe announced, quote, "Start here. Our home is Epsilon Bootes, which is a double star. We live on the sixth planet of our seven, coming from the sun, which is the larger of the two. Our sixth planet has one moon. Our fourth planet has three. Our first and third planets each have one. That updates the position of the actors shown on maps." So this is supposedly what the message, the radio transmission from the Black Knight Satellite says. So it's a star map coordinates to the location of where the origins of the Black Knight Satellite originated from. Now, that's up for you guys out there to, make up your own decisions on that. And as you know, and as I always like to state, that when it comes with Lounge Ronin, all things everything, I implore you to do your own research, as you might be surprised at what you discover of the world and yourself. Let's continue. The message also supposedly said, quote, "Our probe is in the orbit of your moon," end quote. Remember, the object Slayton claimed to have streaked across the moon in 1958 or references of the Bootes constellation in ancient cultures. Why even the LEDs heard by Tesla, Marconi, and Halls? Was the blacklight satellite all along? Pinpointed the origin of the probe to Epsilon Bootes, also known as Izar, a binary star system located in the constellation of Bootes. He hit a roadblock when he plotted out the coordinates on the star map, as they did not line up with the position of the stars mentioned in the alien message, especially the position of the Arcturus, the biggest star in the constellation. But things dramatically fell into place when Lonin, considering the axial precision, adjusted the map to reflect the position of the Bootes constellation as it would have appeared staggeringly 13,000 years ago. He found an exact match, which meant the blacklight satellite arrived here in 11,000 BC. If it arrived here 11,000 BC, I mean, there were active civilizations going on here. We can even argue to say that there were advanced civilizations thriving 11,000 years ago, considering the fact that the Granang Penang pyramid in Indonesia predates the last ice age. So, you know, the question to me to ask is, was this satellite sent from, you know, this previous star system from its, you know, its origin to Earth as a monitoring system for who though? Because back then there were advanced civilizations living on the planet, but I don't know if they were advanced enough to the point where they had satellites in the sky. But when it comes to ancient Kemet, there might be some speculations that they had flying vehicles. You may say I'm talking out my ass, but go do the research yourself. That's what I believe in. So I don't really know what to say about this. I'm not really sure what people. I mean, like I said, it's really all up to you to make a decision on what this means, whether or not it's real or not. It's the fact remains that clearly a consistent. There is a consistency of this object being observed and reported on. And as we covered in part one, oftentimes people who were tasked with observing and reporting on it for various government agencies tell the truth, but then end up having to retract what they said. So that's something to take into consideration. Well, oh, how inconvenient. Look at this. Luna retracted his conclusions in 1976, but that did not shake the conviction of the ufology community, who swore that the Black Knight satellite was real. However, Luna reinterpreted a portion of his theory in 1998 on the grounds of positional astronomy. So, why would he first come out and say that, and then later retract his conclusions? Was he told to retract his conclusions? Because we also have to consideration that many of these people who also work in these communities, they could lose their reputation, they could lose their ability to work in those said communities. So perhaps for him and for the other researchers that we covered in part one, they were threatened with either losing funding, their reputation being destroyed, their entire family falling apart from it. But it's just convenient that they'll come out, they'll say the truth, and then later retract it, and then come up with some bullshit that doesn't even make any sense. And you know that doesn't make any sense because you start smelling the room and it smells like shit and it coming from their mouth. So yeah, they be talking out their ass once they get the call. Sightings of the Silent Space Sentinel. In 1963, during his 15th orbit of the Faith 7 spacecraft, Gordon Cooper, one of NASA's original Mercury 7 astronauts, claimed to have spotted an object which was alleged to have been the Black Knight satellite. The craft that Cooper described as emitting a greenish glow with a distinct shape was confirmed by tracking stations. Look at that. But it doesn't exist. Confirmed by tracking stations, but it doesn't exist. This information not only went missing from NASA's mission transcripts, but Cooper's personal records did too not reveal any such report was made during the orbit. The truth was irrevocably buried when Cooper retracted his statement upon returning. That's what I'm saying. So he says it in communications. He confirms it with the observation crew on the ground. Yet he has to retract his statement when he lands back on Earth. Bullshit. It's just bullshit. Dubbed as some of the weirdest looking 70mm photographs ever emerged from the space shuttle program, the main controversial image showed a dark, oddly shaped, elongated object which appeared to be strange proportions. An abnormal design for a spacecraft that indicated it could not have been conceived or built by humans, so they say. Ecstatic ufologists instantly identified it as the Black Knight satellite. They proclaimed the photograph in question was undeniable and compelling evidence that the craft originated from an alien world. Unruffled by such conjecture, NASA cataloged the image under the number ST not as one that showed spacecraft or extraterrestrial origin, but with more mundane explanation: space debris. Remnants they explained from a white thermal blanket that came loose from its tether and floated away during an extravehicular activity, or EVA. So there is a rational explanation for the black object seen in the photos. The answer, according to NASA, is simply the reflective surface of a thermal blanket is facing the darkness of space away from the light of the Earth. Though NASA reported that the debris fell from orbit a few days later and burned up in the atmosphere on re-entry, things were not to take an even more peculiar turn. NASA rendered the original photo links inoperative during routine website maintenance. Well, if it's just a thermal blanket, why would you then take it off of the site? That's suspicious. Those who believe NASA is intentionally concealing information it has gathered over the years about the true nature and origin of the Black Knight satellite. Ufologists even claim the space agency is in communication with the sneaky satellite. And let me tell you, man, I will never forget reading Millennial Hospitality Part 2. I highly recommend people read this book. Can't remember the author's name, but it's about he was an Air Force veteran, worked in Mojave Wells Desert in Arizona. All right. He put in the coordinates in his book where the hangars for the alien spacecrafts, which he would help navigate to land in these hangars. He put the coordinates in, right? Years ago, I was like, all right, let me go check this out. So I put him in the coordinates in Google Maps. You want to know what Google Maps told me? Google Maps told me that they did not have permission to show me this site. Now I'm thinking to myself, well, that's weird. So I put in the because the reason why is because this location is in the middle of a nature reservation. So I put in the coordinates for the Area 51, just out of curiosity. They had no fucking problem showing me Area 51. They were like, here, why don't you come down and do the 3D imaging and just walk around the base? So you could show us Area 51, but you can't show us coordinates inside a nature reservation. That's fucking suspicious to me. Go ahead. Read that book, Millennial Hospitality, Part 1 and 2. Read it. Read it. You'll be blown effing away by what you learn about the US government and its communications with whether they're extraterrestrial or even terrestrial. Remains to be seen. Go ahead and read that book. Go ahead and put in those coordinates when you get to that chapter. And you tell me down in the comments section what Google Maps tells you. Navigating space debris. Debunking the alien origin hypothesis, skeptics argue that the Black Knight satellite is a space junk from a lost piece of man-made. They point to the improbability and enormous challenges of maintaining such a satellite in orbit to extend for periods, let alone 13,000 years. Well, I mean, let's just put a speculation here. Right? What if 13,000 years ago? See, we don't really know the true history of our planet because the mainstream academia, worldwide governments, they do a incredible job of lying, suppressing, destroying, and obfuscating the true history of our planet. For all we know, 13,000 years ago, Earth could have been inhabited with a civilization that had the capabilities of spaceflight. Maybe they had the capability of shooting satellites into space. Clearly, when you look at Machu Picchu, when you look at the wall in, I even remember the name of the wall in Peru, or Göbekli Tepe, any of these places, the advancements and the capabilities of building these megalithic sites and structures, we can't even do it today. So if they were capable of doing it back then, there is more than likely a chance that they have the capabilities of some form of flight. Argue it down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. While current European Space Agency data reveals there are 5,800 functioning satellites in orbit, the United States Space Surveillance Network estimates that there are over 170 million pieces of space debris ranging from 1 millimeter to 10 centimeters orbiting Earth. NASA states that as of January 2022, they have calculated that this material collectively weighs more than 9,000 metric. But space surveillance networks find it incredibly hard to log and continuously track space junk due to technological limitations. And how much of that are they going to tell us is from NASA and from Russia? How much of that could be from former civilizations that had shit up there in space? They're not going to disseminate they're not going to disseminate that for us. It's just space junk. I'm over here wondering, okay, well, how's there 9,000 metric tons of space junk? And we've started the space race in the 1960s. What the fuck's been going on up there? Visitors from stars beyond. Using the Pan-STARRS telescope in October 2017, astronomers detected the Amumawu. I know I'm butchering. Meaning Scout in Hawaii. Speculated to use solar energy for propulsion, it was the first interstellar object to pass through our solar system. Amamu. I remember this. Joe Rogan actually had the scientist who discovered it. He interviewed him on his podcast. And even the scientist was like, hey man, it's more than likely that whatever that was, it was of intelligent design, and I'm dying on that hill. Astronomer Avi Loeb, founder of the Galileo project, that is aimed at detecting extraterrestrial technology signatures produced by extraterrestrial technological civilizations, or ETC, suggested that Oumuamua could be a product of alien technology, because they analyzed the trajectory of it, and they were like, well, this is clearly using a slingshot trajectory, meaning that it was obviously intelligently coordinated to fly this certain trajectory pattern. And they're like, no random object does something like that. So you can take with that whatever you want. I recommend you look more into the research of that object and listen to the interview with Joe Rogan. I think it happened 3-4 years ago, somewhere around there. It's a really good interview. Check it out. Repeated global sightings. The Black Knight story is alive and well, precisely 125 years after the Tesla first reported signals that apparently emanated from the object. In late 2020, a video that purportedly showed the Black Knight satellite hovering over Santa Rosa in the Philippine province of Laguna circulated on YouTube. NASA engineer James Orberg said that the most UFO sightings were nothing more than space dandruff floating in front of cameras. He argued that the human brain is not wired to make sense of such tiny objects in our skies. Yeah, you see, when you hear comments like that, they're insulting your intelligence. They're purposely calling you stupid, right? That's what they think of you. So anytime I see comments like that, I can say, "Yeah, go fuck yourself." Ridiculous. Skeptics and NASA insiders have long charged UFO hunters of making exaggerated claims and fabricating conspiracy theories out of thin air. They allege that despite the lack of concrete evidence, Black Knight devotees combine a collection of disconnected stories, some bordering on downright preposterous, into one fanciful narrative. And that concludes. Wait, oh, here we go. Sorry, I thought we were wrapped it up because I made sure just to highlight and hit all the important segments of the article. But we're almost there to wrap. Are we racing to disclosure? Astonishing Pentagon videos and photos of alien craft making inconceivable maneuvers, whistleblowers from the Air Force and Navy spilling the beans about personal encounters before the U.S. Congress, declassification of material pertaining to historic evidence involving unidentified air phenomenon, or UAP as the military has now rebranded them, and the heightened interest displayed by politicians and the media all beg the question, is the public being prepared for imminent disclosure? I mean, the public has been prepared for that for decades upon decades. Movies, films, documentaries, whatever. Um, maybe under Trump's presidency, but see. But wait, is that simple? Or are we being readied for something else? The revelation that German American aerospace engineer and space architect Werner von Braun, let me rewrite that. The revelation that Nazi scientist and aerospace engineer and space architect Werner von Braun. I don't know why they're exciting. He's a fucking Nazi. Why are we pretending he's not a Nazi? What are we doing here? He's a Nazi. You're gonna tell me German American? He's not American. He's a fucking German Nazi. He's not even German. He's a fucking Nazi. Oh, wow. Wow. That's crazy. Werner von Braun allegedly made on his deathbed is haunting. And the last card they will play will be the alien card. Now, I believe Werner von Braun is talking about Operation or Project Bluebeam, where they stage a fake alien invasion. Last year, during the drones over New Jersey, many people were under the impression, and I was speculating that this could be a form of or a preemptive test run for Project Bluebeam. Turns out, just the FAA fucking about in space and in over New Jersey for whatever reason. They didn't tell us why, but all will be revealed in time, hopefully. But you see, whether it's the Black Knight satellite, whether it's, these drones, whatever it may be, I do believe that there is intelligent life out there. I don't know if what we are experiencing on Earth is extraterrestrial or terrestrial or interdimensional, or it could all be the above. It's really up to you to infer in your own research, your own personal reflection, your meditations, your belief in God, the source, however you wish to describe it. It's really up to you to make those decisions and to do the necessary research. Because it's not as if we are going to be given the truth. But before we head on out, I wanted to conclude I wanted to conclude this with a little bit of a video. Hello there, I'm P.2, Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Ronin Art and Music, home to Ronin music, Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, the Monday Mindset Rants, and Ronin Reviews. We strive to make holistic and authentic content that aims to improve your individuality, mental fortitude, and peace of mind. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show.
This man just uploaded the clearest images of the Black Knight satellite. He detailed that it briefly showed up at the International Space Station, and then, immediately after it appeared on screen, the cameras were turned off. The International Space Station orbits high above the Earth, but it has occasionally become a backdrop for a perplexing phenomenon: the apparent shutdown of cameras during mysterious sightings. The man who uploaded the photograph said that he often monitors the live feed from the International Space Station's cameras. He detailed that he has developed an interest in space exploration and the mysteries that lay beyond Earth's atmosphere. As he watched the International Space Station orbiting high above the planet, a flicker of movement caught his attention.
Now, I just want to state that there are people out there, and I have seen videos that could add evidence to the fact that the International Space Station might be an elaborate hoax. I've seen some very odd videos on Twitter about it. There are some strange things going on there. If that's something you guys are curious about, let me know down in the comment section, and maybe I can look for some of those videos and we can talk about it. Or if you have any personal things that you've seen online, please let me know down in the comment section.
It was a faint, enigmatic shape, a fleeting shadow against the backdrop of stars. As he took a closer look, he said that the shape grew more distinct, taking on an unmistakable form: a satellite, but not just any satellite. He said that it reminded him of the legendary Black Knight satellite, a mysterious object rumored to have been orbiting Earth for centuries. He quickly reached for his phone, snapping a quick picture of the screen. He knew that such moments were fleeting, and he wanted to capture this extraordinary encounter. The satellite's silhouette was stark against the inky expanse of space, a dark enigma against the backdrop of stars. He shared the image on social media, inviting others to witness the anomaly for themselves. Interestingly, many people are calling this the clearest photograph of the Black Knight satellite. For those unaware, the origin of the Black Knight satellite remains shrouded in uncertainty, with no definitive explanation for its inception. However, the idea is quite straightforward. An unidentified object has purportedly been circling the Earth for thousands of years.
Now, when I look at this photograph of it, it looks very industrial. It looks very otherworldly, and it looks like it has a very distinct purpose. And I don't know if you have these two prongs at the bottom. Maybe those are the signals for down below. And I wonder if on the other side of here could be the propulsion, oh my God, the system that makes it move around. I can't believe I cannot say that word right now. Holy shit. Propulsion system. Good Lord. Because they say it's orbiting, so I don't know if it's something that it moves around every now and then in terms of what it's observing and what it's gathering in terms of data.
According to some, the mysterious object has allegedly been in Earth's orbit for over 13,000 years. The claim made was quite bold, but it was just the most recent development in a long-standing theory that originates from as early as 1973. This theory has gained significant attention and has undergone various shifts and updates over the years. The premise suggests that a spacecraft from an advanced civilization has been circling Earth since ancient times, specifically the Stone Age. There is a faction of
Now, they call it the Stone Age, but like, how do we know that it really was the Stone Age? The other, thing that just kind of popped in my head is a possibility that whoever was on the planet prior to the cataclysms that happened, they left. And they took their most intelligent, their most, promise, whatever. And they left everyone else to, figure it out during the cataclysms. And they sent this satellite to observe the aftermath of those cataclysms and to see who made it out on top. Just a thought.
individuals who firmly believe that NASA and governments around the world have actively worked together to conceal this fact from the public. However, it is worth noting that experts counter these claims by asserting that the alleged spacecraft sightings and encounters can be attributed to misinterpretations of space debris and radio signals. The Black Knight satellite, believed to exist by its proponents, can trace its evidence back to the 19th century. During this time, the renowned scientist Nikola Tesla experienced a series of peculiar radio transmissions at his laboratory in Colorado Springs. These transmissions have been connected to the mysterious satellite. Moreover, the evidence for the Black Knight satellite extends all the way to a perplexing NASA photograph taken in 1998, which captured an enigmatic object orbiting in space. This comprehensive and in-depth exploration enriches our understanding of the Black Knight satellite phenomenon, delving into its historical origins and intriguing photographic documentation. The existence of the Black Knight satellite is supported by a combination of various individual occurrences spanning across history.
And we have covered some of those various things, so let's hear if we missed anything.
Which researchers and theorists have compiled and analyzed over the course of the last century. These numerous events have been meticulously collected, studied, and pieced together to form a compelling body of evidence that sheds light on this mysterious object. Throughout history, numerous theories and ideas have been retroactively introduced, such as the intriguing proposition that the renowned physicist Nikola Tesla inadvertently stumbled upon mysterious signals emanating from an unknown entity back in 1899. When Nikola Tesla was conducting his experiments in his laboratory in Colorado, he successfully developed a remarkably sensitive wireless radio receiver. During his experimentation, he was astonished to receive a sequence of inexplicable electrical signals. Tesla was captivated by the idea that these signals were not random occurrences, but rather a deliberate form of communication. In fact, he interpreted these mysterious signals as numerical codes, leading him to believe that they originated from highly intelligent beings residing on the planet Mars.
So, we have, the Mars speculation, and we've all, I think I talked about it in part one about the Russian scientists who were able to figure out that Mars had been hit with artificially made nuclear material, meaning somebody blew the fuck out of Mars.
Black Knight enthusiasts firmly believe that the assertions made by the individual in question were erroneous. According to their perspective, the signals he intercepted were actually the initial endeavor by advanced beings present on the satellite to establish communication with human beings residing on Earth. In 1927, a significant development occurred that was seen as further proof by believers in the field. Jørgen Hals, a Norwegian engineer, made a surprising discovery during his experiments on radio transmission. While conducting these experiments, Hals noticed something extraordinary: a series of signal echoes that inexplicably returned 3 seconds after he had completed his transmission. These peculiar phenomena, known as long-delayed echoes, have been consistently observed since then. Yet their occurrence remains a mystery without a complete explanation. This event in 1927 marked a crucial moment for those who held the belief in this phenomena. In 1954, Donald Keyhoe, a notable researcher into the unknown, made a claim that was subsequently published by the New York Times. According to Keyhoe, a source from the Pentagon had confirmed the existence of 2 natural satellites in orbit around the Earth. In response to this claim, the Army Office of Ordnance Research had formed a team of astronomers to investigate the presence of any near-Earth satellites. However, the project leaders denied having discovered any such satellites, contradicting Keyhoe's assertion. This incident ignited a significant intrigue and debate within the scientific community and the public regarding the existence of these alleged natural satellites. Those who researched this topic
See, anything to divide the public from their common sense and skepticism and questioning the narrative. Anything to divide them from their ability to just question things and to have their own discussing.
viewed the publication and subsequent denial of the 1954 article not only as proof of the existence of the Black Knight satellite, but also as evidence of the government trying to conceal it. The introduction of actual satellites by Russia in 1957 and the United States in 1958 further complicated the situation, creating more confusion and uncertainty surrounding the matter. During an event that took place on February 11, 1960, the US Navy detected a peculiar and unidentifiable object on their radar. At that time, the Department of Defense claimed that this mysterious object was nothing more than space debris originating from an Air Force Discoverer satellite. However, declassified documents from the Pentagon have since revealed the truth. The Defense Department deliberately deceived the public by falsely attributing the object to space debris.
See, we just covered this. When is that not happening? When is that not happening? When is that not happening?
In reality, this enigmatic object was an American reconnaissance satellite that had been launched specifically for the purpose of gathering intelligence on Russia. In 1973, an intriguing theory emerged from the mind of Duncan Lunan, a renowned science fiction writer. This theory brought together all the previously mentioned events, giving rise to a captivating narrative. In an interview with Spaceflight magazine, Lunan made a fascinating assertion that an unidentified object in space that has been in orbit around Earth for 13,000 years was the reason behind the peculiar sightings and signals. He went a step further to state that he had successfully deciphered these signals as a message, revealing that they were actually instructions from an advanced civilization. Lunan eventually retracted his extravagant assertion and assertively expressed his complete disinterest in engaging with the unfounded notion of the Black Knight satellite.
And we covered this. You know, they say the truth, and then they get the call, and then they're like, "Yeah, no, that's not true. I made all of that up. It's not what happened." Da da da. This swamp gas off the face of Venus. You know, that whole bullshit.
NASA has provided a thorough and detailed explanation regarding the photo in question. Apparently, during the construction phase of the International Space Station, NASA dispatched the inaugural Space Shuttle mission to assist with the ongoing development and assembly process. This comprehensive explanation sheds light on the circumstances surrounding the photo and helps us understand the purpose and significance of the mission in contributing to the construction of the space station. The Space Shuttle carried various equipment, including 4 thermal blanket covers that were intended to provide insulation for the station's trunnion pins. However, during a spacewalk, one of these blankets became detached and drifted away. This incident raised concerns regarding the potential impact on the station's overall thermal regulation system and the stability of the trunnion pins. So, as of right now, there's many who say that the Black Knight is genuine, but note that it's just a piece of space debris. However, there's others who don't believe in this theory. Unidentified objects, if piloted by advanced civilizations, could possess insatiable scientific curiosity about human achievements and space exploration. The International Space Station represents a pinnacle of human engineering and international cooperation, offering insights into our technological advancements, methods of life support, and sustainable living in the harsh environment of space. Advanced beings might observe the space station to understand our capabilities and approaches to overcoming the challenges of long-duration space missions.
Like I said, I'm not really sure if that's the case, but I don't know if anyone out there has seen the movie Titan AE, where Earth gets invaded by an alien civilization. They evacuate the planet, Earth gets destroyed, and then humans are kind of like this lower class intergalactic community living off of these various cargo ships and rigged up together little space stations. But in that, they eventually return back to Earth's solar system, and a new Earth created. And I'm wondering if we had a similar situation where you had, like I said earlier, a giant cataclysm. Survivors fled Earth, sent a satellite to observe those who weren't able to make it onto the ships or who weren't allowed to, whatever it may be. So that's just another idea that I floating around.
The International Space Station serves as a microcosm of human society, with astronauts from different countries living and working together in a confined space. Unidentified objects might be interested in observing human interactions, psychology, and how individuals adapt to the challenges of isolation and the constraints of a space environment. These observations could provide insights into the dynamics of human behavior and cooperation on a cosmic scale. From a more speculative perspective, these objects might be engaged in strategic reconnaissance, monitoring human activities in space for reasons unknown to us. They could be gauging our technological capabilities, tracking the evolution of our space exploration programs, or assessing potential threats arising from our ventures beyond Earth's atmosphere. The space station, being a prominent space outpost, could attract their attention as a focal point of human space endeavors.
So there you have it. I figured that's just enough to wet the whistle. If you guys are curious about the full video, I'll put it down in the description below as well as the article. But like I said before, it's really up to everyone's individual interpretation. Um, like I said, I believe in looking for the consistency in the patterns and information, and if there's consistency in that information and in the evidence that's provided, then I would say that there is some truth to the matter. That's just how I operate personally, but I leave it up to everyone else out there to make up their own decision and observation. But like I always say, when it comes to Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, do your own research because you may be surprised at what you discover about the world yourself. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Lounge Ronin, all things, everything. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And until next time, stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love.